What's good, YouTube, man? Hey, man, I'm back. I think it's been like a week or two, but I've been having videos consistently. But I'm back. You hear my voice, not sick again, you feel me? So, hey, reaction video time. Y'all know what it is, bro. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure you like the video, man, because it helps the channel grow, bro. You see the views. You hear me? Subscribe helps us a lot, bro. Because when I really get to expanding my content, y'all gonna be amazed. I'm telling you. But top 10 cursed objects that have been lost in America. Shout out to Most Amazing Top 10, the video I'm reacting to. And we gonna get straight into it. You feel me?
We really need to start locking up cursed items, or better yet, burn them. Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. I'm your host Emily, and today we're counting down our list of the top 10 cursed objects that have been lost in America. Coming in at number 10 is James Dean's car. When actor James Dean introduced himself to British actor Alec Guinness during an encounter in Hollywood, he asked him to take a look at his car. Alec thought the car appeared sinister and told Dean, "If you get in that car, you'll be found dead in it by this time next week." Now this happened on September 23rd, 1955, 7 days before James's death, which is just creepy. On September 30th, James and his mechanic set off for a car race when another car driven from the opposite direction crossed into James's lane without seeing him. They crashed and James was pronounced dead on arrival to a local hospital. The mechanic who was with him died in a road accident in 1981 in Germany after surviving several attempts of trying to end his life. Now after the accident, a famous car enthusiast, George Barris, bought the wreck, which slipped off its trailer and broke a mechanic's leg. George sold some parts to two guys who raced each other, and one died instantly and the other was injured. George later sold two tires, which blew up simultaneously, causing the buyer's automobile to go off the road. Later, one thief tried to steal the steering wheel and his arm was ripped open. After that, another man was injured while trying to steal the blood-stained front seat. Now, after lending the rest of the wrecked car to a highway safety exhibit, the garage storing the car went up in flames, destroying everything, well, except the car itself. Now, the second display at a high school ended when the car fell, breaking a student's hip. While being transported, the truck containing the vehicle lost control, causing the driver to fall out and be crushed by the Porsche after it fell off the back. In 1960, when being returned to George Barris in LA, the car mysteriously vanished and has not been seen since. And I say, good riddance. Number 9. The Destiny Ring. Rudolph Valentino was one of the most famous actors of the silent film era, but he tragically died at 31 years old. Some years previously, Valentino had bought a ring from a California jeweler, and the shopkeeper never wanted to sell the ring. "It's cursed," he said. "It's called the Destiny Ring," but this didn't stop Rudolph. This curse would be proven to be true, as it all started with the miserable flop of the film Young Raja, and by the time he made The Son of the Psyche in 1926, he died wearing the ring. Paula Najiri, Valentino's lover, received the ring upon his death, and she fell ill and gave the ring to someone else. Most of the ring's subsequent owners died in strange ways, and today it's locked up in a bank vault where no one can touch it. Now, if someone doesn't want to sell you something because it's cursed, here's a tip: don't buy it. Number 8. The Conjuring Chest. The Conjuring Chest is a chest of drawers who has taken the lives of about 16 people. As the story goes, an enslaved man named Remus custom made the item for his enslaver, Jeremiah Graham, in Kentucky circa 1830. Jeremiah, displeased with Remus's work, beat him to death. Now, in retaliation, Remus's friends then cursed the chest by scattering dried owl blood in its drawers. Now, the Grahams continued to use the chest and passed it down their family for 140 years, and death or injury came to anyone who used it. In the mid-20th century, Virginia Carey Hudson Cleveland had 2 of her offspring die, and her husband died. A neighbor also died after an accident involving a weapon, and all had used the chest. So Virginia enlisted the help of her maid Sally to undo the curse. They followed steps that included procuring a dead owl and boiling willow leaves. Sally said that if she or Virginia then died, it would prove that the curse had broken, and months later, Sally did die. Then when Virginia's daughter inherited the chest, she opted to not use it, which is why she's the smartest person in that family. In 2020, the Conjuring Chest remains on display in the Kentucky Historical Society with its drawers remaining empty. Number 7. Thomas Busby's chair. Popularly known as Busby's stoop chair, this wooden chair is cursed by the spirit of Thomas Busby, who was known to end the lives of many people. In 1702, before being put to death for his crimes, he requested to have a meal in his favorite local pub. When he finished eating, he stood and said, "May sudden death come to anyone who dares sit on my chair," and ever since then, 63 people who dared to sit on the chair met untimely and terrifying deaths. Yes, you heard that right. 63. World War II pilots who took turns in the chair perished during battle. A delivery man died in a car crash right after trying out the chair in the 1970s, and so on. In 1978, the pub's landlord gave the chair to the Thirsk Museum, along with strict instructions for it to be suspended above the floor to make sure no one sat in it again. Number 6. Mirror at Myrtles Plantation. A historic home and former plantation, the Myrtles Plantation in St. Francisville, Louisiana, is rumored to be on top of an ancient Tunica Indian burial ground, which is just one reason why it's haunted. It is home of at least 12 ghosts, and it's often reported that 10 people had their lives ended in the house. Now, there are many creepy legends surrounding this property, and the tale of the cursed mirror is one of the most famous. According to legend, the former owner of the house, Sarah Woodruff, and her 2 daughters were poisoned by their slave and are trapped inside the mirror. Visitors of the house report seeing handprints, strange marks, and even figures dressed in old-fashioned clothes lurking in the mirror. Workers say they try to clean off the handprints, but they always reappear in the same spot too. Number 5. The Devil's Chair. Ghost Adventure star Zach Bagans purchased the Devil's Chair to be on display in his museum, but he had been forced to shut down his haunted rocking chair exhibit. Many strange things started happening with it as Zach and a friend noticed the door by the chair's room slowly creak open all by itself. Zach also says a light focused on the chair went out when a power cord was mysteriously yanked out of the wall. 2 hours later, he says a woman collapsed, began bawling, and asked, "Why is this happening to me?" Shortly thereafter, she fell unconscious, according to Zach, who adds that the woman was upstairs directly above this rocking chair exhibit. Later, Zach said 5 of his tour guides throughout the museum started crying uncontrollably. After just a few tours on opening night, the stress was too much for Zach, and it forced him to shut it down altogether for the night. Now, for now, Zach says the haunted rocking chair exhibit is closed until further notice. Number 4. Ruby. Ruby is a porcelain doll with a liking for moving around from place to place. Currently residing with the Traveling Museum of the Paranormal and the Occult, she comes from mysterious origins. Her previous owner said that she had originally belonged to a little girl in the family who died while holding the toy. According to the family that owned the doll, it possessed some unsettling characteristics. For one thing, it seemed to be able to move around a room by itself and was also known to emit eerie, unearthly sounds. Some family members believe that Ruby possessed the unique ability to make anyone in her immediate proximity fall suddenly ill with headaches, allergies, exhaustion, and most often, extreme nausea. Shortly after her arrival, the curators began to notice that visitors to the museum would be drawn to hold the doll and rock her back and forth. While they never became ill, many found themselves overwhelmed with maternal feelings and often report experiencing overwhelming feelings of sorrow radiating from Ruby. Number 3. Baker's wedding dress. In 1854, while visiting her father's company, Anna Baker met and fell in love with one of the steelworkers. Anna kept the romance a secret from her family as she knew her father would prohibit her relationship with one of his employees. Now, this went on for 2 years, and it wasn't long after that that Anna's boyfriend proposed, and she happily accepted. Anna picked out a beautiful wedding dress, and the two made plans to marry, but her father found out about the secret relationship and immediately fired Anna's love, threatening him with death if he ever returned. Now, Anna's heart broke and she fell into a deep depression. The only thing she had was the wedding dress. Now, their house was turned into a museum with the dress displayed, and most of the paranormal activity in the home appears to be centered around this dress. Visitors have witnessed the glass case move while they were in the room, appearing as if someone was trying to get to the dress. Others have claimed to see the dress move or have caught glimpses of what appear to be the dress out of its case and floating around. In the early 2000s, the dress was removed from display after 30 years due to deterioration from direct sunlight and air, but I think we all know that it was removed due to being too haunted. Number 2. Pompei Objects. Recently, a woman reportedly sent a package to Italy supposedly containing items that she had taken from the historical site of Pompeii along with a note of an apology. In the letter, the woman claims that she has been cursed with bad luck as a result of her actions. According to the park, however, this is far from the first incidents of it happening, and tourists from all over the world have been sending items back for many years which they believe have brought them misfortune. Archaeological officer of Pompeii, Dr. Luana Tonilo, said that the park has received approximately 200 returns over the last decade, many of which include letters telling the story of why and when items such as white mosaic tiles, ceramic pieces, rocks and pebbles and fragments of the architecture were taken. Some even outline why they are choosing to return the items, citing bad luck. Some letters tell us of sad events that occurred after stealing the artifacts in Pompeii, such as broken legs and ankles. Others have heard of this curse, so they prefer to return these artifacts as a precaution before something bad can happen to them, Dr. Toniolo said. So hey, if you've ever stolen anything from here, I suggest returning it if you want to get rid of your bad luck. And coming at number 1 is the Basano Vase. Legend has it that this silver vase made in the 15th century was given to a bride on the evening of her wedding near Naples, Italy. Sadly, she never made it to the altar as her life was ended that very night with the vase in her hand. From there, the vase was passed down her family line, but anyone who took possession of it is said to have passed away soon thereafter, so the family eventually made the decision to hide the vase. Now, the vase was gone for a while, but popped back up in 1988, supposedly accompanied by a note that read, "Beware, this vase brings death." However, when the Basano vase was auctioned off for about $2,250, the note had been excluded from the item description. The pharmacist who bought it died within 3 months, and more deaths of the new owners followed, until finally the curse seemed to go dormant when a desperate family demanded the police take the vase away, and it has not been seen since. Honestly, I hope it never pops up again. Well, that's all for our list of the top 10 cursed objects that have been lost in America. Would you ever want to come face to face with one of these objects? Let us know in the comments down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. I'm your host, Emily, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Hey man, shout out to Shawty, you feel me? Y'all gonna tap in with her. But man, that stuff right there kind of scary. How you thinking, like, when I go to sleep, I'm gonna have nightmares. Hey, don't have no nightmares, man. Y'all go to sleep. Goddamn. Hey, it is what it is. But, yeah, man, I gotta record some more reaction videos, so stay tuned next week, man. Appreciate you coming through, though. Love.